Let's go Dolphins! Something huge is happening in Miami, and I promise, this isn't just another preseason headline. What if I told you that everything, yes, everything, we've built might depend on a single decision made behind closed doors right now? A decision that could define the next 10 years of this franchise. This isn't about hype. This is about legacy. This is about power. This is about control over the future of Dolphins football. So, before we dive into the real reason why this general manager search is about to shake up the NFL and maybe even forever change how people see the Dolphins, I need you to do one thing. If you bleed blue and orange, if you've remained loyal to this team through disappointments, near wins, and failed rebuilds, hit the like button right now and leave a comment. Go Dolphins! We're ready for a new era. Because, believe me, what I'm about to reveal, you won't want to miss a second. Let's go. As the Dolphins initiate their search for a new general manager, what's happening behind closed doors is nothing short of monumental. We haven't seen a GM search like this since Dennis Hickey, who lasted just 12 months before being overtaken by Mike Tannenbaum. The last time the Dolphins looked outside the organization for a GM hire, Stephen Ross hadn't even purchased a majority stake in the team yet. That was before Jeff Ireland. So, this move, this moment, is historic, and it will send ripples across the entire NFL if they land the right person. Right now, there's a master list of 31 potential candidates. These are not just names pulled out of a hat. These are individuals across a wide range of backgrounds, former GMs like John Dorsey, current executives like Don Aponte, who already has ties to both the Dolphins and Stephen Ross, and rising stars like Alec Alabi from Philadelphia, who's been dubbed the next Howie Roseman. This search is comprehensive and it's strategic. The Dolphins are turning over every stone. We're talking about scouting backgrounds, law degrees, former coaches, and even executives with business and analytics expertise. But here's the twist. Kyle Krabs, who put together this detailed evaluation, is making it clear the Dolphins can't afford to just hire a career scout. The modern NFL demands so much more than someone who just knows how to watch film. The new GM must understand advanced analytics, salary cap maneuvering, trade economics, and how to integrate data into football decisions. In other words, we're looking for a leader with a 360-degree view of the game. Think about this. Some of the highest-rated candidates on the list aren't just great at scouting. They've got MBAs, law degrees, experience in player development, or have helped build successful front offices across the league. That added value is critical. One standout? Ray Agnew, currently the assistant GM in Detroit. He was a top 10 NFL draft pick back in 1990, has worked in player development, and was part of highly successful regimes in both Los Angeles and Detroit. That kind of cross-program experience matters. Because if you've only ever been in one building, with one system, your understanding of success is narrow. That's how mistakes happen when you try to replicate a process without the right people and resources. Miami can't afford that again. Another big name that pops off the page, Will McClay from Dallas. His resume is stacked. Former player, former coach, and currently the vice president of player personnel in one of the league's most stable front offices. His background spans scouting, coaching, analytics, and leadership. Even though he signed a contract extension in 2023, the Dolphins would be foolish not to call. You make Will McClay tell you no. But beyond resumes, this search is also about understanding the identity of Miami itself. This city, and this franchise, has a unique DNA. While the Dolphins might be in a flashy city like Miami, their most successful years came with a blue-collar, gritty mentality. Think back to the Don Shula days. That's the culture they're trying to recapture. The same toughness that defines the Heat and the current Florida Panthers. The GM who can bring that ethos back, who understands how to build a team around the trenches and reestablish dominance at the line of scrimmage, that's the person Miami needs. There are also some wild-card candidates with deep ties to the community. People like Champ Kelly, Glenn Cook, and Alonzo Highsmith, who either played or worked in South Florida. That kind of connection isn't mandatory, but it's a bonus if the hire gets it, if they understand the fan base, the city, and what it means to wear that Dolphins logo with pride. The search for the next Miami Dolphins general manager isn't just a process, it's a mission to finally align the front office with a clear, sustainable football philosophy, and the stakes couldn't be higher. If the Dolphins hit on this hire, they won't just be playoff contenders, they'll be a legitimate Super Bowl threat for years to come. Let's dig into what sets apart the top-tier candidates and why one name, John Eric Sullivan, has quietly emerged as a front-runner, not just in theory but based on detailed evaluation metrics. Sullivan, the current vice president of player personnel with the Green Bay Packers, stands out as the highest-rated candidate when you weigh all the key factors. We're talking about diverse experience, organizational success, talent evaluation, and process conviction. What makes Sullivan so special? He's been at the heart of one of the most stable and successful franchises in the league. He understands how to build a roster from the inside out, how to collaborate with coaching staff, and how to execute long-term strategies instead of falling into the trap of short-term thinking. And let's be honest, that's exactly what has tripped up the Dolphins in the past. But it's not just about Sullivan. The Dolphins are doing their homework across the board. Take someone like Alec Alabi from Philadelphia. He's known for his analytics-driven approach and for being a key strategic partner to Howie Roseman. His academic and administrative background adds a layer of intellect and process discipline that could be incredibly valuable. But here's the catch. How much of the Eagles' draft success can be directly attributed to Alabi, and how much of it is Roseman's fingerprints? That's the challenge, parsing out influence from association. It's a delicate dance. On the other side, you have a guy like Josh Williams from the 49ers, currently their director of scouting and football operations, who brings a hybrid mix of old-school evaluation and new-school innovation. With deep ties to some Dolphins staffers already in place, there's a natural synergy there that could be appealing. But again, process over comfort. Miami can't afford to prioritize relationships over results. Let's also talk about Champ Kelly. He's currently the interim GM with the Raiders and brings that grit, that business world polish, and experience across multiple front offices. He's been part of successful rebuilds and has strong people skills. Kelly is someone who's done more than just evaluate players. He's been part of guiding an organization through transition, which is exactly where the Dolphins are right now. He's also got corporate world experience, including a stint at IBM, which gives him a unique lens on organizational structure and performance. That's the kind of extra that separates a scout from a real leader. But this isn't just about resumes. Stephen Ross and the Dolphins must prioritize process conviction. One of the biggest criticisms of the previous regime under Chris Greer was the constant flip-flopping in philosophy. One season it's about building through the trenches, the next it's speed and splash. That inconsistency bleeds into coaching decisions, draft picks, free agency, and it's why the Dolphins have struggled to find lasting success. What Miami needs now is a GM who knows what they believe in, who isn't afraid to stick to it, and who builds around a consistent identity. Think about how the Heat operate. Think about how the Panthers turned their culture around. It wasn't with gimmicks or trend chasing. It was with discipline, toughness, and vision. That's the blueprint Miami needs to follow. And while names like Glenn Cook and Alonzo Highsmith bring strong South Florida ties, the Dolphins must resist the urge to hire based on nostalgia or familiarity. This hire isn't about sentiment. It's about structure, stability, and long-term success. Now here's another angle that's being looked at, how each candidate performed in the quarterback evaluation process. It's not just about finding a QB. It's about how you identify, vet, and build around that position. Executives who were part of successful quarterback selections, like those involved in Josh Allen's rise in Buffalo or Jalen Hurts' breakout in Philly, bring critical experience that could shape the next era in Miami. Tua Tagovailoa's future is still a storyline. Do you double down on him? Do you pivot in the draft? Do you build in a way that maximizes his strengths? The GM must lead that vision, not follow it. And there's another practical factor, connections. You need someone who not only understands the game, but also knows how to build a strong supporting staff. If coaching changes come, and let's be honest, they will, the new GM must have a network that can bring in high-level replacements. You can't be stuck cycling through second-tier hires because your front office lacks depth. What's clear from the inside is this. There's no perfect candidate. There's no magic bullet. But there are very real distinctions between those who bring layers of value and those who are just safe picks. And that's where the Dolphins have to be bold. They can't afford to settle for someone just because they've been in the league a long time. Experience is valuable, but only when it's coupled with vision and innovation. So Dolphins fans, here's where I leave you today, with a list of 31 names under serious